Good morning. Good morning, beautiful souls. Oh boy, I've only had one small cup of coffee this morning, so you will bear with me. How is everybody today? I'll give everybody a moment to come in. Zoom was being a little interesting for me again this morning, so we've learned to adapt. We love it. All right, so I took my background off because you're going to want to see my background because I will be part of the background soon. I just need to know that all of you can hear me effectively. Just put a hand up. You don't have to go. All right, perfect. Perfect. All right, we're going to give it just another moment. Um, you are here because we're going to talk about and do some gentle movement. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depends how you look at it, movement is something we need. Every single day, we need to move some body part. One of the things that I've learned over time is if I do nothing else, moving my spine in 7 different directions in the morning and then at night is like the minimum. Because if your spine's not healthy and your spine doesn't stay aligned, it's really hard for the rest of you too. So that's one of my takeaways. That's a no-brainer, and that is pretty much built into my day. The other thing that I build into my day is balance work. Sometimes it's just as simple as the habit stacking, standing on one foot while I'm brushing my teeth. Think about it. You spend how much time brushing your teeth? You do like one side and then you do the other. If you did a little bit of balance, you got the sink there, you can hold on with one hand. I'm sure it doesn't take two hands to brush your teeth. You're getting some balance work, dynamic balance work because you're moving your hand. And then if you want to make it really fun, you use your opposite hand and now you're working on your brain. Yes. So that's lots of habit stacking right there. I'm going to go into a share screen. I think everybody's here who needs to be here. I'm giving everybody a moment or two of grace just because it is a Friday morning. And for me, it's 10 o'clock. For other people, it could be way earlier. So we're going to share the screen. Before we start doing anything, all right, where I'm looking for my entire screen. There we go. We're going to share. Good. If you don't mind, just give me a little bit of a yes that you can see my screen. Yes, I can see your face, Dawn. Thank you. Okay. All right, we're going to do just a little bit of a PowerPoint. This is called Moving with Ease. Now, can you see all the, I'm going to close this up on the side there. Okay. So really, it's a holistic approach to movement. Movement doesn't have to be scary. Movement doesn't have to feel daunting. We move every day. What we want to be able to do is move with ease and continue moving with ease as long as possible. So today's journey, first, we're going to do a tapping script to help release resistance to exercise, just 5 minutes. Understand what your exercise benefits and the guidelines, and then some gentle chair movement, and then some resources and next steps. So the first thing we're going to do is the tapping script. So I'd like everybody just sit back, make yourself comfortable, feel your feet on the floor, and take a nice deep letting go breath. Let go of any expectation, any competition before we start. Perfect. All right. Let's go to the side of our hand. Even though I have resistance to exercise, even though moving my body feels hard, I deeply and completely accept myself and where I am now. Take a breath. Even though I may resist exercise, it feels scary. Maybe I've had a bad experience. I deeply and completely accept how I feel, and I accept where I am right now. Even though I may not have done any formal exercise in a while, and getting started again feels overwhelming, I completely accept how I feel about it, and I'm opening my mind to changing those opinions. All right, let's start with our top of head. I'm going back to our screen here just for a second. Go ahead and tap the top of your head. this resistance to exercise. Eyebrow. It feels very hard to get started. Side of eye. My body feels heavy and like it doesn't want to move. Under your eye. I'm afraid it's going to hurt or feel uncomfortable. Under your nose. What if I can't do what I need to do? Under your chin. I have tried before and not been successful. Your collarbone. There's just so many reasons why I am not doing this. Under your arm. It feels safer to stay still. Eyebrow. Maybe I had a bad experience before. Side of the eye. Maybe it was physical education class. Maybe there was judgment. Maybe I was embarrassed. Under the eye. Exercise may have begun to feel like pain and criticism. Under the nose. But that was then. Chin. This is now, and I am a different person. Collarbone. I can create a new story. Under the arm. Movement can feel good. Top of your head. I'm safe to try again. Eyebrow. What if movement could feel gentle? Wow, that's an idea. What if I could just enjoy this? Under your eye. My body wants to feel strong. Under your nose. And I deserve to feel good and feel good in my body. Under your chin. I choose to be kind to myself. Collarbone. And every single tiny step counts. It's like a bank account. And every step I take forward fills my health and longevity bank account. Under your arm. I am opening to gentle movement. Top of the head. And I trust myself to go at my own pace. All right. Go ahead and take a deep breath. If you have water with you, take a sip of water. And we'll go back to our little conversation before we start moving. Here we go. All right. So why would we want to tap before we exercise, especially if we have any kind of nervousness or concerns? Why? It reduces anticipatory anxiety. We all know that. We're doing it for food noise. It calms your stress response, which is friendlier to gentle movement. If we're trying to keep our movement gentle, we don't need a lot of cortisol coursing through our body at the same time. It increases a sense of safety and self-acceptance, boosts your confidence and self-efficacy. These are big words, I know. Sometimes I go college level when I write stuff. Reduces avoidance-driven behaviors by reducing the emotional weight. If you can take away that heavy feeling, you're more likely to do it. It can help reduce or may help reduce perceived pain and discomfort. As a personal aside, I personally feel uncomfortable sometimes when I move my body, and it does help. It does help with the perceived pain, especially since stress can increase your perceived pain. It will help support your nervous system regulation. It creates an emotional warm-up, which can help us meet movement with curiosity instead of dread. And it aligns with behavior change models by helping reduce the barriers as your very first step in moving from intention to action. Sometimes we intend to do things for a really long time, but then we got to take that step, that leap of faith, and go forward. All right, so let's understand why. I don't know how many of you are looking forward to wearing a bikini by May. That has never been one of my personal goals. My personal goal is to keep up with my grandchildren and to be able to more better match my health span to my lifespan. So we all want to know what our why is so we can build our foundation. There are three main components to fitness. We have aerobic activity. Now, don't get scared. This is not, we're not putting on our leg warmers and doing our 1980s go for the burn Jane Fonda today. But we definitely want to tax our heart a little bit. The second component is strength and balance training. Strength and balance can very much go together. Without that core strength and strength in the especially in the hips and the lower belly and your legs, balance can be tricky. So they kind of go together. And then we have soft tissue resilience and range of motion, which sometimes we put on by the wayside. The soft tissue resilience is keeping your mobility. And also that helps with balance and range of motion. Being able to lift your arm all the way up to grab that peanut butter off the top shelf instead of getting stuck halfway and being like, okay, where's my grabber? So if we can increase that range of motion, we have more function. So the CDC put out weekly exercise recommendations, and these can look daunting to a lot of people. 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity. There's like 30 minutes, 5 days a week. That's a lot if you haven't been doing it. I'm going to say that's not going to be anybody's first goal. And that can be as simple as walking. The Japanese interval walking is something that I see a lot of people doing, and then we can talk about that later. And that's something as a step, not you do it as a step. You don't do it as a fully completed thing. 2 days a week of muscle strengthening of all major muscle groups. I cannot say enough how women need to keep their muscle. We start losing muscle after a while. Balance activities, it says 2 to 3 times per week. I'm going to say that's a minimum. I would really encourage some kind of balance activity almost every day. Flexibility and range of motion activities I lose at least 2 to 3 times per week. And as you probably saw in the last slide, that's things like gentle yoga, Tai Chi, or even some gentle mobility type of classes, which you can find some places like YouTube. But let's curate that a bit because some of the mobility workouts on YouTube, once again, can be very daunting. And then you start where you are without judgment because every single step forward counts. What are some of the other benefits? Mental health, okay? Reduces anxiety and depression. If I could tell you that I could write a prescription for you that doesn't really cost anything, helps your mental health, helps your physical health, keeps you healthier, stronger, may increase your longevity and help expand your health span to match your lifespan, we'd be spending a fortune on that. But it's exercise. Physical movement is the least prescribed healthy intervention that there is. It also can help your mood and emotional regulation. The topic this week seemed to be anger. We're tapping through anger. Sometimes going into a workout when you're feeling just a little bit angry, you have that moment where you can work through those feelings physically. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm feeling so much better. It also enhances cognitive function and memory. As women, that is something key that we want to be thinking about because women, unfortunately, tend to have a higher incidence of cognitive, of dementia and Alzheimer's. And there's one of the reasons is that we live longer than men do, and we also tend to be the caretakers. So that's something to be very, very aware of. It also helps us boost self-confidence and body awareness. If you can move your body with confidence and know where your body's going and what it's doing, it's a whole different feeling. The physical health benefits, another big one for women, strengthens our bones and helps prevent or mitigate osteoporosis. And as an aside, I have a client who I have worked with for, gosh, a long time. She had a severe illness, and all of a sudden she's got osteoporosis. And her doctors are all freaking out. They've got her on medication, and they're like, "You're going to be on this medication forever, and you be careful the whole bit." So we did work. She came to classes a couple times a week, and we did some very specific curated movements to help with her bone density. And when she went back within 2 years, She went out of osteoporosis all the way to the plus side, not even osteopenia. Now, I can't say everybody's results are going to be the same, but I can say it makes a huge difference. We also want physical health benefit is building muscle mass and preventing sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is a very fancy word for loss of muscle. That starts to happen in like your 30s. So without doing something to prevent it, I think by age 80, we can lose a huge amount of muscle. And that's when we start becoming frail. That is the last thing we want to happen. Frailty is a very serious indication of a shortened longevity. And it doesn't matter when you start. You can start weight training at 75 and have gains in muscle. Physical health benefit of improving your heart health and your circulation. And it also helps enhance and balance and reduce the fall risk, because one of our biggest life-changing events that can happen after age 50 is falling and having a fracture in our hip. So once again, we'll go back into that sarcopenia, the age-related muscle loss, which starts, we say that there's estimating 3 to 8% of your muscle per decade after age 30. That's a lot. And that's not 100%. That means unless you're doing something to help it. And resistance exercise reverses this process. Doesn't mean you have to go pump big iron. It also, you can use body weight also. There's a whole series done by Dr. Lauren Fishman that is on YouTube. He is the MD who's also a yoga therapist who created yoga for preventing bone loss. And you can find his stuff on YouTube. It's very safe, very about, you know, how not to move your back and how much twisting and things like that. He had the distinct advantage of being able to send women for bone scans to test to make sure things that he was doing was working. Strength training twice a week is proactive, and it is absolutely never too late. Muscle gains can be achieved at any age. One more thing to add into that is that adequate protein helps support muscle health. So if you're vegan, you really, really want to make sure you're getting the protein you need, because it is a little harder and it takes a little more attention than if you do eat animal meat, animal protein. Osteoporosis prevention, we're going right back into it. 1 in 2 women over the age of 50 will break a bone due to osteoporosis. That is a very scary statistic. So weight bearing, resistance training, balance work, yoga and Tai Chi work a lot on balance, and they can be very helpful to help prevent osteoporosis and osteopenia. Posture. I think as time goes on, when you go to your primary care physicians, as we, you know, as time goes on and we get older, they're going to start looking at this. I've had the personal experience with my mother where her primary care doctor went, Eleanor, what happened? Within 6 months, her posture, she went from being a little slumpy to the 60-pound head, very, very kyphotic and in a lot of pain, horrible balance. And that happened in a very short period of time. And that was a sign that her bones were collapsing. Yes, my own mother, she does not listen to me. Never try to coach your own family. It doesn't work. Poor posture can create a cascade of health problems. Forward head posture causes neck pain and headaches. And it's not just people as they get older. If you look at the teens and the 20s, oh my goodness, I see young athletes in gymnastics and they're slumpy already and they're like active. What's going to happen later on? It's all our devices. So we have to rethink how we sit when we're on the computer and using our phone. Our rounded shoulder muscles, our chest muscles, especially the pec minor area, gets really tight and our upper back muscles get weak. So one of the ways we reverse that is we open up the chest, we stabilize the back, and then we strengthen the upper back. Kyphosis is what they call it when you're in that rounded over position. That increases your fall risk and causes breathing difficulties. You're crunching your chest. It also is compressing your organs and your lungs. You can't take a nice big breath. You're compressing your heart because your heart is connected underneath your sternum to your chest. So all of that stuff we're pushing down. And then more spinal fractures statistically are due to kyphotic posture than osteoporosis. Let's say that again. Statistically, 60% of spinal fractures are due to kyphosis rather than osteoporosis. And if you have both, you're really facing difficulties until you can open up your posture, strengthen things, and take care of those bones. All right, we're almost done, I promise. So the good posture benefits is it helps reduce chronic pain and tension. When your head is forward, it's like it's 60 pounds pulling stress on your spine. It's like wearing a bowling ball around your neck. And we wouldn't, if that would hurt to do it, having our head way forward and slumping forward is producing the same result. It helps improve your breathing and digestion, maintains your mobility and independence, because when you're upright and your balance is better, you're going to stay mobile in a more healthy way. And the more mobility you have, the better you're able to be independent. And then it will help enhance confidence and energy levels. I joke with my students all the time. I keep telling them, I'm going to my 99th birthday and I'm wearing a tiara without bobby pins. That's my goal. I'm all about the tiaras. So what are the 7 essential movements for independence? Let's break this down so that we can see what are the basics of things that we want to take care of. So, this is not necessarily an exhaustive list, but it is at least the basics. Being able to squat, sitting, lifting, gardening, getting on and off the toilet. A funny story, well, not so funny. My mom had her knee replaced and she didn't do the prehab. Once again, doesn't listen to her own daughter. And all of a sudden she can't get up off the toilet. She has to call my father. That was a little traumatic. So we really don't want that to happen. Yeah, we got grab bars and stuff like that, but still, we really want to be able, and getting in and out of chairs, getting in and out of a car. These are just basic things we want to do every day. Hinging, bending healthy hinging from the hips instead of crunching and rounding and putting all that pressure into the spine, which can can make us injury prone to our spine. Pushing, that's opening drawers, getting off the floor. If you want a big test for independence, can you live by yourself? Can you get up and down off the floor in any semblance or way? Because if you fell down and there was an emergency in your house, like a fire, could you get out? Because if you can't get yourself up and out, chances are you're a danger to yourself. So this is motivation, especially if we're looking to live independently as long as possible. Pulling, opening drawers, picking up that darn bag of dog food, which weighs 25 pounds, and dragging it in the front door because Amazon decided to drop it down in the rain. You can tell that's probably happened to me. Rotating, that's turning, reaching. You want to back your car out. You got to be able to twist and look to keep it safe. Lunging, that's stepping up and down curbs and steps. Even though we may live in a flat surface, the rest of the world is not flat. And then walking, that is a general mobility movement, being able to walk and ambulate. So those are your 7 basic movements. So now we're going to go into our chair exercise part. I'm going to stop the screen share. But before we do this, I want you to know you want to use a sturdy chair that does not have wheels because we don't want to slide away. I want you to move at your own pace and honor your own body. If you need a break, take a break. Nobody's going to look at you and say, get back to work. It's not that kind of party here. Breathe naturally throughout. I may cue some inhaling and exhaling. One of the things I've learned for pelvic health is like when you do a squat, you want to exhale on the way down, inhale on the way up, just to naturally brace and support your organs. So that may be the only breath cueing I do during movement. Stop if you feel any pain or you just don't feel right. Perceived exhaustion, that's not a good word. Perceived exertion. So today, our goal is you should be able to talk to somebody in the room without gasping for breath. So if from a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, oh my gosh, passed out, call the ambulance, and 1 being, I'm laying on the couch eating bonbons, you want to fall somewhere in that 3-4 range. We're not looking to be extremely intense today. Because sometimes we can go up to a 7 or 8, and as long as you've built yourself up for it and your family, your primary care physician says, yes, you're good for this, you can do that. Today, we want to stop at like a 3, 4. And if you have any health conditions that says you should not be moving at all, then maybe you will observe today until you can get clearance from your physician, because the biggest thing is being safe. Nothing stops the party faster than somebody who is not safe in their body and they're doing something that's not good for their body. So, all right, I'm going to stop the screen share because now you're going to get to see me. Stop share. There we go. And so we may have people coming in and out. Before I start what we're doing, I would like, does anybody have any questions before we go further? No? Perfect. All right, you get to see a view of my house down in Maryland because I'm in Maryland today. And I came down here because my roommates right now, with all the snow, they're in the house too much. My roommate being my husband and my son, and they have a habit of walking in when I'm trying to do work because, they live in the land of me some days and they're like, wait, you're working, but you're only on the computer. So we're here, and I would like you all to have some water maybe accessible. Why? Dehydration can be a really big risk factor for muscles misfiring and balance challenges. We don't want that. So have some water near you. Actually, take a couple sips now before we even start. I'm going to put some music on in the background. You may or may not hear it, but it's always fun exercising with music, especially if it's something you like. Maybe not super fast music because you tend to go with the beat and then you're getting, wait, I'm out of breath. I can't breathe. So I'm moving back. You should be able to see me. All right. So I might feel a little far away. That's all right. If you're going to use a chair, you'll notice my chair is on a mat. I have a yoga mat right here. What does that do? It ensures that my chair is not going to slide away because that would not be fun. That I don't want to fall off my chair in front of you. That would be a little embarrassing. All right, let's get the music started. We're going to sit up really tall first in our chair. Feel your feet on the floor. Let's try to align our spine. So that means we want to be putting our respiratory diaphragm over our pelvic floor and our head over our shoulders. And close your eyes for a second and put your hand on your belly. I want you to feel your breath. Just breathing gently in through the nose and out through the nose. Now, while you're breathing in and out through the nose, nice and easy, I want you to notice as you inhale, see if you can sense your pelvic floor. That's that area down, the muscles down deep in the pelvis, all the way down by it, by your anus and by your vagina in that area. So as you inhale, you might feel them relax. And as you exhale, you will feel them tighten. And if you don't feel it, it's okay because sometimes we lose touch with these muscles. And they are important, but then again, if we don't use them, it becomes a little harder to feel them. That's it. Keep breathing. Good. Now feel your body in the chair. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel that you are balanced. I'm going to put the music on and we're going to get started. We're going to start marching in our chair. So move yourself so you're comfortable. You want to feel stable, but you want to be able to move your legs. Just start with the legs. Now, can you push through your feet? I moved up and now you can't see my feet so well. There we go. We're going to push through our feet. Activate those ankles, not just your quads. And then we'll move the arms. That's it. I am going to look down because I have notes. I'm a little compulsive. I keep notes. That's it. Nice and easy. Plant your feet. Turn your head forward. head. Relax your jaw. Make sure you're reaching up to the crown of your head. You have your chin slightly back. That's it. You can slow this down if it makes you feel dizzy moving side to side. Because remember, your eyes are an organ of balance, as are your ears. So sometimes moving all this stuff can make us feel a little dizzy. We're going to do a couple more. That's it. One more, each side. And chin down, straight. I don't do backwards without you putting your teeth together, and we only do modified because we're trying not to compress the back of our neck. But here we're just warming up the upper back and the back of the neck. That's it. Beautiful. Couple more. One more. Take a breath. Put your back teeth together. You're only going to point your chin to where the ceiling meets the wall of the room in front of you, just a little bit. I'm going to say no more than about 30 or 30 degrees. So get your protractors out. I talk in degrees. So did you have to estimate? Couple more. One more. Ear to the side and side. Easy does it. If you feel this is too much, stay to one side only. That's it. I did a heavy weight workout yesterday, so this is not moving very well today. Go to the other side. That's it. Sometimes we get a lot of tension in our upper trapezius. That tends to be my tension area. That's it. Couple more. Excellent. And bring it down. Chin to the chest. We're going to roll our right ear to our right shoulder. And then we're going to roll our left ear to our left shoulder. We don't go backwards. We just go forward, nice and easy. Why? Because a lot of us have neck arthritis or little neck issues. And going to the back, you're kind of compressing in that axis joint at the top. And since that's the top of our spine, we probably want to be nice to it. Good. Couple more. That's it. Can you relax your shoulders while you do this? Last one to the right and to the left. And bring your head back to the center. Take a breath. You're going to roll the shoulders down and back. Up and back. That's it. Excellent. Two more. Now roll them forward, front, and two. Good. Excellent. 4, 3, 2, one more. Excellent. All righty. Cross your hands over your chest. If that doesn't feel good, you can put your hands on your waist. We're going to sit up nice and tall, and we're going to turn our sternum. Hips are going to stay still. We're turning above the belly button to the right and then the left. That's it. Right. How tall can you sit? Any twisting movements, we want to make sure we're extending our spine. I mentioned 7 movements of the spine every day. One of the movements that I add in is axial extension. Your axial skeleton is your spine. Pelvis all the way up to the crown of the head. Axial extension means standing tall and rising up through the crown of your head and creating space between those vertebrae that we don't normally get when we sit and slump. 2 more. One more. Excellent. And bring it back to the center. Take your right leg out, the other right leg, and flex and point. You can hold the leg up if that feels okay for you, or you can rest your heel on the floor. That's it. We need this to walk normally. Ankle mobility is a big deal. Also, you're driving a car. I hope you can do this. I had a class where they really didn't have very good ankle mobility and they were all driving. And let's change legs and flex and point. They were all driving. And then I'd look in the parking lot and it'd be like, oh my, their cars all had dings and bangs on it. It's like, so I used to try to leave either after everybody else left or before they left. That's it. Couple more. All right, so here's your first fun challenge. Hold the back of your chair or the seat. Can you roll your ankles around? You can rest your heels on the floor, roll them around. That's it. I put on a music track that is like 70s and I think 70s and 80s music. Let's go the other direction. Things that we kind of remember when we were teenagers and young adults. There's actually science to that. Your brain remembers when you were young. You know, they say you can perform better then. All right, bring your legs back in. Take a nice big breath. Sweep your arms out. Turn your palms up. Bring them in. Palms are in. Turn it out. Take it down. And let's march again. Inhale. Bring it up. Wherever your arms go, they go. There are no rules here about this. Bring it up and down. Good. Do it again. We're going to hold it here. Turn your palms in towards your ears. That rotates your upper arm bone and keeps your shoulders feeling a little happier. We're going to up and down, nice and easy. So you're going to notice once the arms went above the shoulders, the heart rate might start going up. That's it. Nice and easy. That's perfect. Your arms are going to start feeling it as well. That's okay. We're going to do a few more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your arms in. Keep the legs going. We're going to march apart and in. Try to keep your kneecaps lined up with your middle toe, and you move from the hip. Hips are really important. A lot of times, if you're having knee problems or lower back problems, you think, oh, my poor back, my poor knees, I got to fix them. And then you go to the physical therapy or whatever they send you to, and they're like, oh, it's your hips. And you're like, what? Or sometimes it's your feet. Just make sure anytime you're going to do movement, especially if it's weight bearing, I don't care what you wear. Personally, it doesn't matter. The only people that care what you wear are the people that run Athleta and Lululemon. You just want to have something that feels comfortable to move in. But footwear is important. And bring it in. Can you tap both feet? We're going to calf pump now. Press your toes down. Pump through those calves. Right now, we're working on our calves. This is actually a valuable exercise. You can do this under the table when you've been eating, especially if you're at a restaurant or something. Pumping the calves actually helps, it helps with venous return. It moves lymphatic fluid around. It also helps burn up a little bit of that glucose that may hit after a meal. That's it. Good. Couple more. 3, 2, 1. Now tap your toes. Really pull those toes up. Shin muscles are important. You cannot walk normally if you cannot flex your foot. And when our shins start to get weak, you're going to notice you'll catch your toes and start tripping more. So that's when you start seeing people begin to shuffle instead of taking a healthy step. So really pay attention to the shins because they're important. Got a few more. I'm sure you're starting to feel them. My calves are yelling at me, and so are my shin muscles. That's it. And stop for a second. Just shake out everything. Shake it, relax it, let it go. If this is good enough for the Olympic athletes, I think we can do it. Shaking's good. It releases tension out of the muscles. Excellent. All right, we're going to work. The first thing we're going to do, I was just checking my notes. Sorry about that. I wrote really small. That was not wise. Put your hands on your hips. I want you to slide your hands forward. Put your pinky fingers right in the crease of your hip. We're going to do some hip hinges right here. Now, the only place that's moving is that hip crease. You're deepening the hip crease. I'm going to turn sideways. As you're going to notice, my spine is not changing. Hinge and up. Good. You're only going as far as your hip crease deepens. What are we trying to avoid? This. Not great for your spine. So hip hinging, think about it. Every time you go in the refrigerator and look at the bottom shelf, or you're trying to get something out of a bottom drawer, we're hinging. We hinge a lot during the day. We don't even realize we hinge. We're going to do a couple more of these. Use your feet, press into your heels and push up. Draw your belly in. Find that area 2 inches under your belly button. And we're going to do one more right here. Good. Now find that area 2 inches under your belly button and pretend you're surprised. Do a surprise breath. Did you feel those little muscles pull up? That's all you have to hold. So let's do our surprise breath. And we're going to do a few more hinges. Forward, hold it, relax it. Now do your surprise breath. And up. Good. That's how we brace. Hold and up. One more. Excellent. Good. Now this is going to transcend into the next thing. Some of you who are taking care of your knees or feel you cannot get up because it's just too much. We're going to hinge forward. You're going to place your hands on your thighs and you're going to push down through your heels and make muscles in your legs. And then we'll come back and sit down. People who are comfortable are going to hinge, press up, hinge, and sit down. So you better know where that chair is. Get in there nice and close because we don't want anybody missing their chair. All right, so we all have a choice here. You're either going to go all the way up or you're going to, sometimes you might just hover for a second. Work where it feels good. And we're going to do 8 of these. Your hands can be on your thighs, or if you feel really like you're all that today, you can try to put your hands at your heart. So ready? And hover, stand up, hover or press, and sit. Hover, stand up, hover. Now notice something. Notice my knees. I'm keeping my knees aligned with my middle toes as much as possible because that's a nice, neat, safe knee spot. Hover, stand up, hover, sit. You can put your hands on your thighs. Once again, you can have your hands here. Good. Couple more. This is actually a test. Sit to stand. How fast can you sit? Sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up in 30 seconds. That is one of the tests to see where you stand biologically in biological aging. Or physical aging, actually. Biological will be more about your blood work. And take a break. Just tap your heels up and down for a moment. Take a break. Nice deep breath. Shake it out. Shake your legs. Massage them out. You're allowed to say things. I mutter under my breath when I take exercise classes sometimes. Now that you've done that, for those people who feel like you would like to try it, we're going to actually stand up to the side of the chair, always so you can hold the chair. We're going to bend our knees and hinge and come back up. Now, I would prefer as you hinge, we don't really go more than 45 degrees, only because you're not in front of me. I can't put my hands on you and give you corrections. So this is going to be a functional way to do this. So one hand on the chair if needed, or if you feel really spry today, you could test it, but know it's there. And if you're in your chair, you're going to just hinge forward and back like we did prior. Ready? Hinge and bend the knees and up. Exhale and up. Good. Exhale. Notice we're getting all the leg stuff done right away. That's it. We're working bigger muscle groups as much as possible. That's it. Couple more. Hinge. Now, do we want to hinge with straight knees? No. You want to bend your knees. Now, add your breath. Exhale. That's it. Do your little surprise breath. Exhale. Exhale. Squeeze. Now we are bracing. We're using these deep muscles right here to help support us, support the spine, hold the organs in. It's nature's girdle. That's it. Who needs Spanx when we have our own? That's it. 2 more. 1 and up and 2 and up. And come on back and have a seat again. Take a breath. Shake out. Beautiful. All righty. We're going to do a side leg lift. I know. The outside and the inside thigh muscles are really important. They help keep our legs stable. When one is stronger than the other, we tend to have issues with our hips, doing weird things, and then we start feeling it in our knees and our lower back. So I want you to slide your hips. You're holding onto that chair for dear life. And if you don't have arms in your chair, this works better. If you do, you might have to turn a little bit. But we're going to just take our leg out to the side. You're going to hold on. You're leaning on the chair. I look like I'm going to fall off my chair. I'm not. I'm holding on. And my right leg extended. I'm going to just lift my heel a little bit. Oh, you feel that right there? Uh-huh. Yeah. We're going to do that 6 more times. 6. Hold on. 5. If you have to go a little further over. 4. Just try to keep yourself upright, please. 3. I don't want emails going back to Brittany saying this woman tried to kill me. 2. 1 more. Can you hold it for a second? Put it down. Oh, bring it in. Rub it out. That's it. And let's go to the other side. Slide over. So you're still supported. You're on the chair. Hold on for dear life. Take the leg out. I'm going to try not to kick my table here. Ready? Bring it up and down. Up. So kneecap is facing the front. That's why you're feeling it in the side of the leg. If your kneecap is facing up, you're going to feel it in your the front of your thighs. Right now, we're trying to get to a side of our legs. That's it. Couple more. 1. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Bring it down. Sit up, walk your feet back in. Excellent. Take a breath. You really deserve that one. Good. All right. Now we're gonna take a break from our legs and we're gonna use our arms a little bit. If you have light weights you'd like to use, this would be the place you would grab them. You don't have to use weights. Body weight is a great start. But if you do have weights, start small. These are 2-pounders. You can start with 1 pound. You can start with small cans of soup in each hand. I mean, exercising with food is okay. So we're going to do chest presses. We're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to bring our elbows below our shoulders, about chest height. And we're press the arms forward and back, forward and back. Now, if you would like to enhance this, you put a pillow behind your back and you lean back. And then you move your arms more in a diagonal. But you want to keep your spine supported in a line. So going sideways, it would look like this. And I'd have a pillow behind my back. Because right now, doing it this way, I'm getting an ab workout, which may or not feel good for a lot of us. We may not want to be doing this much right now. In, out, in. This is your pushing the door open. Push the door open. You got it. Push, pull, push. We got a couple more. I try to do about 12, especially if we're working light. 1 more. That's it. And bring it in. Take your elbows down. Take a breath. Shake out. Shake those arms. That's it. How else can you work on pushing? Push-ups against the wall. You can stand right on the wall, lean on a little bit of a diagonal, and bend the elbows. Both arms. Yeah. We don't need fancy equipment. We've got everything we need right in front of us. All righty. Now we're going to do seated rows. You can keep your legs open and just lean a little tiny bit forward. We're going to take the arms out past the knees. You're going to pull your elbows back. Now squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. Pinch those shoulder blades back and then press them down a little bit. We're going to do back, squeeze, out, squeeze. That's it. Squeeze. Keep going. Now today I'm trying to give you an all-around body workout. Sometimes in my classes we'll do a little all-around and then we'll work on one specific area at a time. Maybe it's a heavier day for arms. Maybe it's a heavier day for legs. We do balance work every single class. Every single class. That's it. And range of motion every single class. Couple more. 3, 2, 1 more. Now hold your elbows back and squeeze, 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 and release it forward. Take a breath. If you're using a weight, you can put one down or you can hold your weight. We're going to bring our hands into the middle. Elbows are down below the shoulders. Remember, when we bring those shoulders up, we have to remind our shoulders they're not earrings. Keep them down so we feel comfortable in our upper body and have a neck. So seated nice and easy. We're going to turn to the right and center. Turn to the left and center. Now, as you turn to the right, you might lean back just a little tiny bit, tap your elbow to the chair, and left and center. So what are we doing? We're keeping our body nice and long, and we're moving from our upper waist, just above the belly button. That's your thoracic spine. Twisting should really happen more at the thoracic spine. The lumbar spine only has about 4 degrees of rotation, and that's when we tend to throw out our SI joint, your sacroiliac joint. That's a big woman thing. We have wider hips, we give birth, and all kinds of things can make that SI joint feel unhappy. So this is a little bit safer. So as you lean back, what you're going to notice, exhale, inhale up, exhale. You're getting a core workout. That's it. Twisting is a natural activity. We need to be able to twist for sure. Excellent. Got a couple more. Let's do this last 2. Other side. And bring it down. Shake out. Take a breath. Now, put your hands on your thighs, and we're going to just circle around. Take a nice big circle with your torso. This is kind of relaxing and for your nervous system, and you get to relax through your torso because we just worked a little bit through that torso. Let's go the other direction. Good. Now you're noticing we're moving down. You're going to sit up nice and tall. So you can do this with or without a weight. Now, if you put your weights down, grab one opposite hand to thigh and kind of go a little more sideways to pick up the weight. That's a little safer on the spine. That's it. We're going to put our hands on our thighs. Close to your hip crease is going to be a little less resistance. You're going to feel less weight. Closer to your knees, you're going to feel more weight. We're going to pick up our right leg, extend, 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 bring it in, and take it down. Let's do that again on the right. Up, hold, 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 bring it in, take it down. Now, did you collapse back into your chair? Bring it in. We want to stay nice and tall. Exhale, squeeze your lower belly a little bit. That surprise breath. Inhale, up, exhale. Now, I want you to try to feel your leg muscles, especially those of us taking care of our knees. Try to feel the muscles hugging your knees. Squeeze, hug the muscles around the knees. In, up. You might be feeling it up into the thigh as well. Squeeze. In, down. One more. Up, out. Squeeze them. In, down. Shake it out. Ready for the other side. Up, hold, 2, 3, in, down, up. Squeeze, squeeze, in, down. Here's a test. Can you do it without getting shorter? What do I mean? We don't want to get shorter. We want to get taller. In. This is that axial extension. Up. Hold, hold, in, down. Up, hold, hold, in. We're going to do 2 more. In. 1 more. Bring it in, take it down, shake them out. Ah, I know. It's okay. Our legs will live and our knees will like us a little bit more. All right. We're going to put our weights to the side and we're going to move to the right side of the chair again. I'm going to turn sideways because it's easier for you to see. So I'm going to keep my left leg on the chair. Nice meaty thigh on this chair. And I'm going to take my right leg behind me. So I should look a little bit like an L. I tried to wear leggings that were not the same color as the chair, and everything was going to contrast with the back. So hopefully you can see me pretty well. So I can put a hand on my thigh and a hand here. I'm going to push down through my front heel. And if I feel good, I'm going to lift off the chair a little bit. And then I'm going to go back down. Remember, even pressing into the floor without lifting is helping to strengthen those muscles. We're going to do this 6 times. You ready? Press and maybe lift and take it down. Important to keep your knee lined up with your middle toe and over the ankle. Press, exhale. Inhale to lower. Exhale, press. Inhale to lower. Those of you guys who feel like you're all that today, if you want to try it without hands, just make sure you have a place to go and you can recover without falling off the chair. Press. Take it down. One more. Press. Take it down. Beautiful. All right, bring it in. We're going to go right to the other side. Shake out your legs. And let's slide over to the other side. Now, I'm turned on a diagonal because it works for my chair. Some people might be sideways like this. Whatever works for you. Technically, I should probably have something under my foot because I'm a little vertically challenged in the leg area. That's it. Ready? This knee is down. Wherever it goes, and this knee is over the ankle. We're going to press and maybe lift up and take it back down. Exhale, press. Take it down. Stay with this. Exhale, press, and take it down. How would this grow up? It would grow up to be this, and up, and down. It's stride stance, split stance. Ready? Press, and down. You did not have to join me on that, by the way. And down, and press, and down. Press. One more. And remember, if you have to take a break, you take a break. You join us if you want to, or if you feel like you've had enough, let's come back into the center and shake out. That's it. Excellent. All right, once again, if we have weights, we can grab our weights or we can just put our hands. We're going to slide forward, walk our feet back so our heels are slightly behind our knees, push down on our knees, lift the heels up and down, up and down. That's it. Good. Now, this is for if you feel uncomfortable with too much standing. If you feel comfortable standing, you put one hand on the back of the chair, fingertip, put your hands in your belly, and rise up. That's it. So whichever one works for you. Good. Up, down. It's a good chance to practice your posture and your axial extension. That's it. Couple more. 3, 2, here we go. Can you hold it up? Can you hold on to that chair and close your eyes wherever you are? Whoa! And open your eyes and come back down. Tap your toes to recover, whether you're seated or standing. That's it. Excellent. All right, let's bring ourselves back to the chair. We're going to do a couple smaller muscle groups. If you need a sip of water, this is a great time to grab one as we transition to smaller muscle groups. Just checking the time. Good. We got about 5 minutes. Good. Nice and easy. We're going to bend the elbows up. Oh, we all know bicep curls. That's it. Up, in, up. You got it. Up, in, up. Good. Why do we want to do bicep curls? Because we got to carry shopping bags and children, pick up dogs, carry a purse on our arm. That's it. Excellent. Couple more. 4 and 3, 2 and 1. That's it. Shake it out. And then we're going to lean forward just a tiny bit. Tuck your arms behind you a little bit like chicken wings. Roll the shoulders down and back. Touch your hip bone. And we're going to take our pinky fingers back and in. Now we're working the back of our arms, our triceps. That's it. As I like to say, this is the part that sometimes wiggles when when we're waving. That's it. My son called them bingo wings. I threatened to take him out of the will. That's it. Listen, loose skin is loose skin. There's nothing we can do about it, but fill it with muscle. That's it. You got a couple more. The back of the arms are going to get a little more tired than the front of the arms did. I don't think we use them quite as much. 2 more. 1, 2, bring it in. All right, slide your hands to the front. Let's go ahead and put those weights down. Sit up nice and tall. Shake out your arms. Inhale, sweep up. And sweep it down. Plant your feet on the floor. We're going to reach over to the right, nice and easy. This is one of those 7 directions. This is spinal lateral flexion. Bring it up. And let's go over to the other side. That's it. And bring it up. Hands on your thighs. We're going to inhale, lift our chest. So we are doing a slight arch to your back. Tailbone goes back, heart lifts, chin goes up a little bit. And then very gently on the exhale, roll your tailbone under, open the space between your shoulder blades and bring your chin in. That's it. And come back up. Inhale, arms out. On the exhale, take both arms to the outside of your right thigh and turn your shoulders to the right gently. Keep rising up to the crown of your head. That's it. Inhale again, center, get taller. Exhale, over to the left. You're moving from that upper waist always. Good. Inhale, bring it up. Hands behind the head, open the elbows, press your head back into your hands, open your chest and lift your chest gently. Good. Reach your arms out. Thumbs are on top, or sorry, thumbs are in back, palms are up, and open that chest. Reach your thumbs back like you're going to touch. So it looks a little bit like the masthead on a ship. And then bring it in, lace your fingers, press your fingers forward and separate your shoulder blades. You can put your chin down if that feels good. That's it. Bring it in, right leg forward. Flex your toe up. Remember that hinge. Right here's your hinge. At no point are we trying to reach our toes. We don't care about that. We're just stretching the back of our leg and our calf. Good. Now put your toe down and hold. You'll feel stretch in front of the ankle as well. And come back up. Flex your left foot, hand on the thigh. Hinge forward. Good. Toe down. Bring it up. Take a nice big breath. Now, the 7 directions of the spine that we did that you may not have even known we did. We have spinal flexion, which is a gentle rounding. Spinal extension, which is a gentle arching. Lateral flexion to the right. Lateral flexion to the left. Twisting to the right. Twisting to the left. And sitting up there and pulling ourselves really tall. That's axial extension. There's your 7 directions. So sometimes you can do nothing else in a day, do that. All right, I'm coming back up to the computer. There we go. Does anybody have questions? I'm going to look in the chat.
I just want to say really quickly for those on this call, we do have a buddy call immediately following this call.
Okay, so I'm getting off. We're done. I just want to make sure there's questions.
I just want to say you're welcome to join that class as well. So I'm not going to start it yet because it'll kick this call off.
All right. So somebody put up some kind of gorilla something. Oh, the tapping.
That was me. It was tapping for children. Yeah.
I use that book with my grandchild. She actually sits in the corner and does butterfly tapping when she's angry. Mm-hmm. She does it in school. The teachers are like, what is she doing? So it works very well. All right. Does anybody have any other questions? With that being said, I'd like to thank you all for coming, and I hope you got something out of it, and hopefully we get to repeat it again. Have a great rest of your day.
Coach Teresa, this was excellent. I've never done chair exercises, and I just thought I sat here and did them with you. They were excellent. I want to thank you so much for your time and all your expertise.
Oh, you're welcome. Let me tell you, I never discount chair workouts because they're effective. So, all right, everybody, have a good day. You did something for yourself, so nourish yourself with some protein and make sure you drink enough water and go to your buddy call. And I will hopefully see you guys at least next week for the buddy call.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye now.